We had Monica was there. She's our PA in the building. Parking for that area now is going to be, we're not running the buses in the front oval, so if you have to bring your kids in for any visits, you'll be able to park right there, and their door is closest facing here. Hit the button just like our secure entries, and their secretary will let you in. So again, utilize that. I had 2 principals go in yesterday, one today. Passed all the tests, but they're not at work because they're sick. So we had a lot of kids this week. So again, we sent the paperwork home just so you can utilize it if you need to. It's a great it's a great resource. I jokingly say I've got a punch card because I seem to go in there all the time for something. But I want to welcome you all here tonight. How many are first-time seniors? First-time senior parents. This is, guys, I'll tell you, and I look around, and for those that have been through it, I think that the anxiousness and the anxiety and some of those stressors still don't go away. But today is September, and it is going to be June before you know it. Having gone through it myself and other people, we talk about it. Just the time goes. So relish every moment. Go to every event. Talk to your kids every day about all the great things that they're doing. Because I'll tell you, this senior class, I am excited for them. One, because even just the engagement in the hallways, the excitement last year as they went to the last assembly. We had a send-off assembly for kids, and those juniors were excited to receive the jug, and just that school spirit is so cool for them to take part in. So if you get a chance to go to the assemblies, you're invited as part of the court. Encourage your students as athletes or even just representatives to sign up. Be part of something bigger, get involved, and don't miss one single thing. Again, have a great turnout tonight, plus we're recording, so those that couldn't attend are going to be here. We'll try to get you out so we can catch the varsity volleyball game. How was the floor, fellas and ladies? Was it wet, sticky? I was afraid that it was going to be a little slippery. Good, excellent. So getting started, again, we welcome you, but also we look at what we're looking at for 21st century graduates. One of the things we pride ourselves in at the high school is really pushing students to the max. Many of your students we don't get the luxury to see because they're in early college, they're in dual enrollment, they're taking online classes, they're maximizing every minute they can to try to be ready for that next level that the counselors are going to talk about tonight. And the excitement is all that they're going to accomplish before they even graduate from high school. For many of us that went traditionally, we didn't get some of those opportunities, like early college, like dual enrollment, and so many of our students get a chance to start before it even begins. When you look at some our goals that we have up here, you can see that these are the pieces that we want you to walk away with tonight. Here's a resource. You don't have to worry about taking pictures. It's going to be on the YouTube channel that is located on Alpena High School that you see. We post it. It'll be on Facebook, but you can access this information anytime, anywhere. But our goal is that you walk away with understanding these 4 goals and feeling better as you leave, so that you're not anxious, so you don't have any struggles. And if you have worries, you've got people up here that are accessible all the time. Email, phones, we'll get back to you. Any of the principals, the dean, we're here to support you to make sure that you're getting the information you need in as timely fashion we can. The biggest thing is our push is we're dedicated to pushing students to the 21st century graduates and empowering them. And that's probably the biggest goal that we push for, is looking at how can we empower them. Many of them are already doing that. I see students that are in the crowd right now, and they're engaged by connecting with conversations. I can't tell you, I'm looking at your faces, and I know your kids because they're not afraid to come up and talk to us. They're there engaging. Coming up saying, "How was your weekend? What are you up to? Where did you go to school? What are the things you did?" And I'm like a dinosaur, so some of the things that I did don't exist anymore. But for them, it's at empowering them to really engage and asking questions and taking part in ownership in what they're doing. We want them to leave here being as empowered as possible. Our eHealth staff that you're going to connect with, especially on scholarships, on any college information. These are our folks. We got Jesse, who's the principal down in eHouse. Actually, they're both down in eHouse, but he handles all the scheduling pieces, dual enrollment, along with the counselors. His assistant is Kelly Saya, and then our registrar is Tracy Shoemaker, who makes sure that those grades are correct, top 10, all the percentages, making sure dual enrollment's transcripted. She is really the glue that holds it together and the spoke that spins the wheel. So I really appreciate all that she does. Our counseling staff is made up of many that I worked with side by side, and many that I encouraged to look at joining the team, and actually our new counselor, Sue, is a great addition to the staff. We met for the past 2 days going through, making sure we had all this information together. This is a team that you can count on, and people you need to access when you have questions or information that you need answered. Again, not only are they helping with guidance counseling, but they're licensed counselors. They're working with your sons and daughters when they're struggling, when they don't have that place to go. Please encourage them. We want them to know they can access us for all those needs that you have. Another wonderful addition to our team is Lori Nugent. She's not here tonight. She's our early college coordinator. She took over following Lee Fitzpatrick when he took the communications position. And for those of you that have any early college questions, concerns, that's your first go-to. You want to use her, access her. How many early college students do we have? So you know she's there 24/7 connecting with you guys. She's working side by side with a counseling team. The relationship is outstanding. Don't be afraid to reach out to her. Anything early college, you go to her first. She'll get you connected with the right counselor and pieces. Lee. And as Lee started our early college program, so he's a great resource as well and is always there to help Lori in anything she needs. Biggest questions you're going to have tonight are, is my student or are my students on track for graduation? The big thing is what are the things you can do if they fall behind? These are just a couple of the pieces that you can do. Oh, I got to click here. Sorry, guys. Sometimes it reaches, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, you guys didn't get these guys either. I'm sorry. I promised I wouldn't look up there at everything in front of me. So let's go back to the pictures so you can see everybody. These things, the reach sometimes is not there. So here's our wonderful counseling team. If you don't know them, we got Lori, Sue, Andrea. Andrea is actually working the volleyball game tonight, so I think she's going to race over here, or at least try to. They couldn't find anybody to take her spot, and so she's helping out there. That's a great opportunity. And then Robin Miller on the far right. So great team. Check out the alphabet. I'm sure you guys all know who your team is. And then here was Jesse, Kelly, and Tracy. Again, great resources. Don't be afraid to reach out. They're accessible via email, phone, everywhere. And then again, Lori Nugent's information right there for early college. And now, with no further ado, looking at these pieces right here, don't be afraid to see your counselor. These guys are going to see all of their students. They're going to attempt to, but they have to make appointments. Watch the weekly. Make sure you're saying, ooh, now's the time for that senior visit. It is so important for them to sit down and talk about what are those next steps. And with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Lori so she can talk about those pieces. And thanks, Laura.
Thank you. I'm Lori Vogt. I'm one of the counselors here to talk to you about credits and other opportunities. Welcome to senior year, by the way. I know when your student is going through it, sometimes it feels like you are as well. So as Mr. Berdash said, feel free to call at any time. Feel free to set up a meeting with your student's counselor, any one of us, because I know you'll have questions and things you want to go over. Job one for us, what I always tell the students, my job one is to get you to graduate. I have other jobs, of course. Job two is to get you where you want to go after high school. But job one is to get you to graduate and across that stage. Most of our students, I only have a very small handful that are behind in credit at this very late stage of the game. So if you're here, I think you're probably okay. But if you have any question about that, you do need 22 credits to graduate. There are certain requirements you have to fulfill. A letter went out in July. You should know pretty much exactly what you need to graduate at this point in time. If you don't, we're all here to answer those questions, and we can help you figure that out. So at this time, I want to talk to you a little bit about post-secondary opportunities. So, make sure I'm on the right side. Okay, so if you were with us in the 90s, how many of you attended Alpena High School? Not very many, okay. The big push at that time was everybody goes to college, everybody goes to college. We now know that college can mean different things to different people and that there are very many paths to success. So for your son or daughter, that might mean military, it might mean a trade school, it might mean on-the-job training in a certain field, an apprenticeship. There's just many, many different paths to success. And we call all of it the general category of college, because every kind of training, post-secondary training, most jobs require some kind of specialized skills. So we're here to talk to students not only about the traditional university path, which many of us followed, in education, but also different things like internships, co-ops, trade schools, military, and other routes to success. So whatever your path might happen to be, know that we're here to support it, and we want to find the path that's going to be best for you and something that you'll be happy with and hopefully earn a living with. Secondly, I wanted to talk to you about College Night, which is coming up really quickly on October 3rd. How many of you attended last year, our College Night? Okay, so some of you know what that involves. There's over 50 colleges, universities, trade schools, military representatives. This is just a really good opportunity to come in. It's sort of a one-stop shopping place where you can gather lots of good information, and you can talk to those people and then kind of narrow down your search just a little bit. So if you want to talk to a representative, for example, from Saginaw Valley, you're not sure how to go about doing that, they'll be there, as well as many, many others. So make sure to put that on your calendar for College Night. And we're going to have signs all over the building. We're going to be hyping it up as best we can. We encourage all seniors to attend, all juniors to attend, even the sophomores and freshmen if you have younger students. Because we always ask the question, what are you going to do after high school? They don't always have answers, but it's important they're engaged in the process. You'll see if you go to the next slide there, Romeo. There's a little QR code associated with College Night this year. A QR code, you could just hold your phone up to that code once the slides are advanced a little bit. It takes you to a link where you can actually be linked to the college representatives, and they can gather some information about you prior to College Night. So you kind of have sort of a conversation before College Night even gets here. So that's kind of a nice thing to do, and we encourage you to do that so your son or daughter can be super prepared. So looks like Mrs. Linton did show up. Thank you for coming tonight, and I'm going to let Mrs. Linton talk to you about FAFSA.
Thank you. Sorry I missed the introduction. So, moving on from the college piece, students who are planning on attending post-secondary need to fill out the FAFSA, which is free application for federal student aid. Is there help to complete our FAFSA? Yes, there is. Please make an appointment to see us if the student has questions about FAFSA, or parents, you can feel free to reach out to us as well. There is a workshop which will be on the next slide here in a minute, but you can also find financial aid information. If you can actually go back, Romeo, please. Thank you. Amanda Belisar from ACC is the Director of Financial Aid. Her number is there, but again, you can always reach out to us if you have any questions, and we can direct you to Amanda Belisar. Next slide, please. So we are having a parent information lab on the FAFSA, and that is on February 6th from 6 o'clock to 7. It'll be at ACC, and it's lab time with your son or daughter. Please bring your Chromebook and any pertinent information as far as, I think is it tax information or banking information? There will be more to come on that, but I highly, highly recommend that you attend the FAFSA lab night. Romeo? Thank you. Okay, so this particular slide is to TBA, Advised Michigan College Advisor. If you know someone who is a recent grad or a retiree who may be in transition, maybe they're looking for a part-time job, this would be a great opportunity for someone. Our advisor usually does college applications, fee waivers, the FAFSA as well, comparing financial aid letters, college visits, career explorations, trade school. But again, right now, we don't have anybody in that position. So again, if you know somebody who might be interested, please have them reach out to us. I think Mrs. Wood, maybe. Just saying. Next slide, please. Okay, so I can't see these very well. Now's the time to apply for colleges. Most kids, it's recommended that they apply for, on average, 3 different colleges. Most applications are available online. For a lot of colleges, there is a fee to apply. October is, for a lot of colleges, October is free. Not all colleges, but we will definitely be doing a news media blast with our weekly newsletter from Mr. Bordage as far as when the time to apply is. We have what's called the Common Application. It's a website online, and basically what that is there's over 700 institutions that accept the Common App, and it's kind of like one-stop shopping. So your student can fill out a form one time, simply choose the schools that they want to apply to, and the Common App just goes to those locations. It's really important, though, for your son or daughter to do their research and choose the schools that align with their goals and with their specific needs. If you are needing a staff recommendation, we have a form, a specific form in our office. So come on down to our office and get the staff recommendation letter form. And when you are requesting that information from a staff member, please make sure you give them enough time to fill out that reference letter. That's it for me. Moving on to the next. Yes. They would wait till next year. I am correct. Yes. They would wait till next year. So if you didn't hear that, early college kids who are currently in early college and they'll still be going to ACC next year, they will wait till the following year to apply. Yes. 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 Okay. I think we have Mrs. Miller. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Miller. I work with your students. Last name's Esterzi. Thank you for coming on such a hot, melty day. I appreciate it, and I am also a first-time senior mom, so I'm going through this right along with many of you, and I recognize a lot of your faces. I'll talk to you about a few important pieces of information, the first of which is Parchment. Parchment is probably an email that your students have been receiving since the summer. Welcome to Parchment, register with Parchment, and typically the seniors are like, I don't know what this email is, they delete it, and then suddenly they want a transcript. Mrs. Miller, can you send my transcript to Ferris State University, please? And I say, go to Parchment and register, and they go, oh, I've been getting emails from them. So ask your student if they have been getting emails from Parchment, because even beyond graduation, if they need a transcript from high school sent anywhere in the state, I believe just the state of Michigan, they go to that site, they basically order up a transcript to be sent, and it happens electronically. Most universities, most places want the transcript sent that way. So I encourage your student to be registered now so that they can quickly get that transcript sent when they need it. Next. Few more pieces of information about different informational meetings we're going to have. I'm going to host the NCAA, slide please. I'm going to host the NCAA informational forum in December for those of you who have student athletes. I did ask Mr. Studley to send out a bulk email to student athletes for a webinar designed specifically for students. It is on a Sunday. I think it's at 7 o'clock. You can have your student check their email for that. It'll give them some good information if they're hoping to play sports at the collegiate level. And the webinar that I do in December is right from NCAA. So you're, of course, welcome to come to that as well for more information. It's really hot. Oh my goodness. Next, please. And I'm fair skinned, so you're about to see like super redness. I'm sorry. In January, we host a choosing and paying for college. So these used to be two separate webinars, choosing college and then paying for college. We put these together and we give just different things that you should be thinking about, your student should be thinking about when choosing a college. You know, don't just go to Fair State because your dad went to Fair State. Different things to look for on programs, to campus, to crime rate, distance away from home, all of those different things. And then, of course, how is the student going to pay for all of that? Different things to ask yourself, different conversations to have at home. The hardest part about that parent informational forum is that I fear parents come hoping that I'm going to tell them how they're going to pay for school, and there's no way that I could do that. I could simply give you some good resources and send you on your way, hopefully with more of a plan than you come with. And that's in January for that informational forum. And speaking of paying for college, on our website, if you go to Alpena Public Schools website and you choose Alpena High School website has a counseling corner, and that counseling corner has an AHS scholarship link. So this link historically has been run by the Advise Michigan person that we don't have yet. So as of last year, it was updated great. You can still use this link. If you could click, Mr. Bordage, are you on the actual website? Okay, go ahead and click there. So for example, it's not updated for this year, but that link that he just went to, for example, was month by month. So our previous people put any scholarships that they could find due in November. And this one, you know, shows a due date for that first scholarship, November 29th. So these dates are from last year, but you can be safe in assuming that the scholarship is due around that same time. And if you click the link to those, most of them, I knew we were going to pick one that didn't work. Most of them will go directly to, like if it was an Eagles scholarship, it will go to the Eagles website, scholarship information, and it will tell you what you need to do to apply for that scholarship and what the deadline is and who to contact if you have any questions or need any more information. So speaking more on scholarships too, I think being a senior is stressful. Being a junior was really stressful, I think, with academic classes, but being a senior is super stressful with, you know, they get asked, I guess in my experience, and I think with the students we see, what are you going to do when you graduate? What are you going to do after school? And they're looking at us like, it's day 2 of senior year, I don't know, you know? So as seniors, even though they're 17-ish, they need you in this kind of stuff. You know, if they decide on a few places they'd be happy with going to school, great, help them with those applications, that's okay, help them find scholarships. Mr. Fitzpatrick? Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, I'll hand this over to Mrs. Riedlinger.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sue Riedlinger. I'm the new person on the counseling staff. So I deal with your students who are F through L. And for seniors, we all make a commitment to meet with every senior individually, but we need to get those appointments scheduled. So if you can encourage them to start that process, it's easier for us, and then we do less hunting down of kids. And we want to hear where they're going, what they want to do, what their questions are, and what they're worried about, because that's part of what we do. So we cover everything from career to scholarships to what is their credit status, are they going to graduate on time, if they have a class to make up, how are they going to do it. We want to get them out the door so they're not worried about summer school and all of the last minute things about graduation. So for your students to, you can go the next slide, for your students to make an appointment with us, this is what that link looks like. If you click on that, there's a Google form that they can fill out, and they just fill in their information. They know who their counselor is, and if they don't, it will tell them on there based on their last name what it is. This is one way they can do that. They can do that by filling out the Google form, and then that sends a request to our secretary, and she sets up an appointment with them. They can also do it by stopping in the counseling office and talking to Mrs. Saya, and they can also do it by emailing. This is the best way because it gets us straight to the secretary, and she handles all of our schedules for setting up our appointments. And she's very organized, and so that helps. So from the homepage of APS, when they get to the high school, then they would go to the counseling corner for that. Another thing that's found on the counseling corner are these key forms. We are in the process of, like Mrs. Miller said, we're in the process of updating some of them, but they can find most of what they're looking for here. If they don't find what they're looking for here, or if you as parents don't find what you're looking for, just reach out to us and we know how to get it. Some of those things that we need to update, we're working on that as we go. It's been a kind of a crazy couple weeks with everyone's schedules and changes at the beginning of the year. So like I said, if something's broken or if something doesn't work on there, we're in the process of updating it. Just shoot us an email or call and we'll get you what you need. You can click the next one. And that's it for me. Thanks, and thanks for coming tonight when it's so hot, and feel free to reach out if you need anything. I'm going to give the mic back to Romeo.
I want to make sure I didn't tumble going down that ramp there. But they're right. They're just valuable resources on the website. As we move through, everything is accessible. But again, the biggest thing, if you have questions, don't wait to reach out. Ask. You can't. There's no bad question, and there's always good answers. Tube? And it's online. It's also in my weekly. Yep. And it's also in the weekly too. You'll be able to pull it up there. You can use your phone, so that's good. The next meeting that is really important for your kids, and they're going to be bringing that information home, so it's really, really important, is this is a meeting for them. They're gonna meet with the Jostens rep, and that Jostens rep is going to hook them up with all the information they need for graduation in terms of cap and gowns, class rings, announcements, all those pieces, and all that packets. All those things are going to come back, and the return date is going to be on there, and they're going to tell us exactly the day they have to be back. And that company is great to work with. They will get you the information you need. There's contact information on all the packets, and I encourage you. Don't wait on that. Look at it. Get it done right away so that you know your needs and what your needs are. A lot of us, I don't know how many I'm going to need. I don't know what I'm going to have. I don't know how many I'm going to invite. For those of you that are looking at like spring sports and things like that, checking your dates, making sure you know what you have, and looking at graduation parties. It's hard to believe you want to start thinking of that now, but I know like when mine graduated, my coach said everybody's doing it on Memorial Day. That is when your graduation party's going to be. Nobody's going to have one another day. They're all going to be on the same day. You will not go to your other friends' graduation parties because you're having your own. That was the day we had to do it. And so for some of you that are involved in some of those travel pieces, make sure you're talking because you want to make sure that you have all that taken care of. Again, cap and gown, graduation information, class expectations. I get to talk to him for a little bit, but it really is a Jostens rep. And he and she, because there's two, will go through a lot of important information for them to think about as seniors. Not only about caps and gowns, but about life and about what we need to be careful of and what do we have to look forward to. And so they really spend a great deal of time doing that, and it's a nice opportunity for them to hear it from somebody else other than you and other than me or somebody else and their counselor, but really just kind of hearing that same message that it's important to be ready. The senior planning team applications will go to them this week. They'll be out, and that's an opportunity for your son or daughter to join a team that helps define what the graduation year looks like. From homecoming, Winterfest, along with leadership, some of the events that we put on that are linked to those, and really those important weeks before graduation, the class song, class motto. They lead that up. It's a great piece to have on the resume, but it's also a great piece to be part of. It's again like connecting and being involved is so important. Now's not the time to slow down, it's time to speed up. Encourage them to be part of something bigger. You can see, from painting the rock to wanting to set up homecoming. I mean, for those of us that are at these events, the spirit and the energy in this building is unbelievable. Excuse me. And it's really exciting to be part of it. So encourage them to be leaders in it. And if your son or daughter is afraid to come out of their shell, encourage them to do that. It's a great opportunity. Mrs. Hoggard and myself run that. She keeps me in track and makes sure I'm where I'm supposed to be with them. But we do meetings that are typically around their schedules and really a lot of communication outside via email, via chat, and really just trying to connect with them. It's probably one of the best parts of my spring. It's very, very busy for me, and this group of kids really makes it easy. They're in my office constantly asking questions. They'll connect with me sometime on a Saturday saying, we got to paint the rock. And so I'm making sure I'm coming in here, meeting them, getting the paint, making sure that stuff's ready, and everything is so appropriate. It's unbelievable. The senior lounge, they help take care of that. They make sure that things are cleaned up. Allison right here, she already contacted me and said, I need to get the paint going on this. What do I do? So we made a plan, and they change the window like once a month. It's invigorating because they set the stage for these other classes. They set the stage for the energy and the culture that we want to build, which is exciting to be in school. The sad part is, for many of them, they're gone. I mean, because they're doing early college and so forth. Another big event you saw coming up that is going to be important for many of you to assist with is the Kaput activities. We had our freshman bash during freshman orientation and the first day with open house. It was kind of crazy, but we can never get a large group of those freshmen. So one of the pieces I pulled in our seniors to really work to try to get them to be here. There was just so much going on that it was difficult. For you guys, this is a time when they're going to say to you, we don't want you here. I don't want you at Winterfest. I don't want you at homecoming. Many of you I see and I say, come chaperone with me. It's fun. It's like date night for my wife and me. I always say that. She does go with me. But the kids enjoy seeing us. And if you can't help out during, help out in the background. Christina here, she's the vice president. She's the co-president. You can hold her hand up. She's been huge, she and Terry, in really getting things organized and getting things ready to roll. I can't say enough for them. Their leadership and just what they do has been astounding. And it's going to continue. For her, this is her culmination with her student. So we really want to get more seniors, parents involved to be the helpers. What can you do? What can you make? What can you help set up? What can you participate in? How can you help with fundraising? How can you help with what can I do? Just tell me and I'll do it in the background because my kid does not want me there. That is cool. But try to be part of it. If you can, I'd say try to attend after prom. Try to attend prom. Be at those events. They're cool to see, even if you watch from the background. It's kind of cool. Even if you sit in the parking lot and watch them come in. Our leadership class is extraordinary. Mr. Thatcher and his crew, and I see some of those parents here tonight with their kids that are in there. They do a great job. So the after prom, the senior celebration, those are two of our big events that we'd want you guys to be part of. Just some of the pictures. I tried to pull up some from last year. I mean, the the new student council is organizing the theme nights for the games. I was at the last volleyball game, and it was extraordinary to see a whole sections filled with kids. I want to see 2 sections filled. I want to see them dressed. I want to hear them cheering. Good things, of course, and just being part of it. You can see the murals that we paint. The school celebration is just, it's extraordinary. A couple of things that Kaput also helps with are those activities, but they help with like the senior sunrise. That was a beautiful sunrise. Thank you, Canada. We had to Photoshop that in, but we're not going to miss that. Somebody bashed me for Photoshopping it. I said, what are you going to do? There was a haze. I was out there for 5 days in a row trying to find the right time and everything, and the wind shifted that night. I am not kidding you. And then all of a sudden, after everybody ate breakfast, which Kaput put on, the sun rose. And let's bring everybody back, but we couldn't get them there. So it was just kind of cool, but that's an activity that they do. They provide the support and get the food and prepare everything. At homecoming, they're doing it. At all of our events. This year, we did some really new things for our seniors. We did the elementary walkthroughs, which was extraordinary. I got to tell you, we're not missing it this year. Those kids, let me tell you, how excited those elementary students were and how it lifted up some of our students. I had a kid that said, I can't miss this. I got to work. I need the dates, what time I'm getting it off. And they don't normally take time off from work to do school activities. This was astounding, and the feedback was extraordinary. So we're definitely going to do it again this year. You can see playing on the playgrounds for pictures. Parents were there. We let them in to get pictures in the building. Some of our bigger ones like Besser. Oh my God, the energy in there was unbelievable. And then we went to the country schools like Wilson and Hinks, and they all did something different, and it was exciting for the students. And they all walked away with just a really good experience. So I want your kiddos to be able to do that too. They deserve it. And so does it take a lot of time? We build in those 4 days. So you're wondering, why do you have them graduate and get days built in? The online piece, the dual enrollment, all these pieces have added more complexities to graduation than you can even surmise. If we have them go right to that Friday before graduation, I'll be getting a phone call from the counselor at midnight on Saturday saying, Joey passed. What do you have? He emailed me. We're good. We got to move forward, Rome. We got to get this kid across. It takes more than a day. And our counselors fight so hard for our students to make sure even those stragglers that are really struggling, they're doing everything to lift them up. Our last day is not a day where we want to tell a parent they're not going to graduate. And there's meetings well in advance of that. It doesn't happen typically on that last day. There's knowledge. But for those students, we want to make sure we give them that opportunity. We need those days. So that allowed me the opportunity to build that in and really get them to connect and just be part of something bigger. We did the graduation parade. That was a kind of a reach to before our senior celebration, and that was extraordinary. We had over 30 cars involved, and those kids decorated them. The parents were involved. It was like the parking spots. The parents were here to help painting. I had grandparents in lawn chairs. It was probably one of the coolest events to see, and just the connection that you can do with your kids. The parents that got involved in that car decorating was really cool. I thought, they're all going to wear their cap and gowns. That was probably a bad idea on my part. We ended up not doing the cap and gowns, but it was, just try it. So I think the senior planning team's going to want to do that again. The feedback was extraordinary, and it led right into our senior celebration, which was perfect. The next piece is looking at what we do on that Friday before senior celebration. We have a senior experience day where they come in at 9 o'clock. I walk them through all the pieces. It's our day to keep them safe before graduation. So they come in here at 9, we feed them. We seem to feed them at everything we do. These kids get great food, seriously. Between the Kaput people and what they order, but what the parents make is just astounding. But they come in and they beautify the campus. Now that we're doing an outside graduation, most of the pictures are at the stadium. I encourage parents to come back and get it at the Flower Garden. This could be the last year of the Flower Garden, so that would be a really cool picture to have. Getting in front of the Wildcat, pulling into the rock. It's hard because getting out of the stadium, I promise for the exit to be better this year, is getting those pictures here at the school too. It's great at the stadium, but take that time to come back. To this day, every time I drive by the Saginaw Valley sign, I said, I didn't take 10 minutes to get a picture for the S that I paid for. I really should have gotten a picture in front of that stadium every time I drive by, because of course she lives there now. So I do the same here. As I look at those Wildcat pictures, get one in front of the Wildcat. grab that favorite teacher that's in that area that your kid wants a picture with. I tell you, I walk around, I just love the pictures. I make sure my wife's taking them of me with those kids, because I go back and on a bad day, I can pull those pictures up and say, this was the best day. So all the stuff we have to put up with is worth every ounce, because your kids are worth that. So this day is important because they come in, they beautify the campus, they make sure everything's stellar. They do a sleepover that is not done. We don't say do this. I'm telling you, last year was okay, but it's like every year I'm going, what are they going to do that's going to get me fired? No spray paint on the sidewalk. One kid had the wrong can of spray paint, and I still haven't gotten the power washer strong enough to get it off. So it's those kind of things. But those kids were policing themselves, and that's what they do, is the senior planning team and those kids, they police themselves. It's a great group, and I don't struggle because I'm not worried, because they do good things. So this is one of the best things they do, because they take pride in the building. Then we walk over and do all the stuff at the commencements. So when your kid says, I don't want to go back on that Friday, encourage them to do it. Just to be part of their friends, to get the pictures they need, and just to be part of something bigger. Make sure they do senior celebration. From the cornhole tournaments, to the dodgeball, to going to Arzo's, which is a secret spot, to laser tag with the teacher team. We want to bring those teachers in and have them be part of that too. It's a long, exhausting week, but being part of that bigger thing with your kids is awesome. Some of the special events you're going to see, and these will all be in my weekly too. Going the wrong way. Sorry, guys. I was all excited about this clicker. I'm not so excited now. Lee, you want to take, there we go. So you're going to see calendar dates are going to pop up. These are on here. There's no need to take a picture of it, but these are solidified dates that you have that you want to get on your calendar so you know. We make sure that we try not to double them up with athletics, except when we get to the senior, when we get to baccalaureate and we get to some of those spring seasons, it's impossible to pick a day where there's not an activity. So you will potentially miss an activity because there's no way to pick in those weeks a day that's not taken. And then, of course, our beautiful weather that we have in the spring will always wreck one of those days that we take. So baccalaureate's been a huge success. The Pastoral Association is going to take that over from Bridie and me, and we're going to be part of the team, but we're not going to lead it. They're going to lead it. And so they're going to lead it with kids in here. It's one of the last things they do that's really a fresh chance for them. It's not really, it's just a great event for kids. We had nearly 200 kids last year, or 200 people last year, so 100 plus kids, and it was just really an amazing event. It's short, it's quick, and it's refreshing for your students. So take advantage of that. Again, we talked about all these pieces. Watch the yearbook deadlines. We switched to Jostens as our new yearbook. So watch the deadlines. The senior pictures, that deadline's got to be the deadline. Senior quotes, they've got to be in at a certain time because they have to be reviewed by a team. Go ahead, Jer. Yes. In my weekly, okay, I'll pull that up. That comes from Katie, our yearbook, so I'll do it. It's me having to check those permissions because it comes from the company, so I'll do that. I'll do that as soon as I get back to my desk. Thank you. It's the one for Jostens? Yes. Okay, I'll do it right away. And those are just important dates you want to make sure you check. Upcoming events in here, we're moving. Lori's going to lead the senior honors night, which is going to move from virtual to in person again. And again, it's all here. It's another time for them to wear their cap and gowns. Kids all sit here. They come up. They receive an award from a teacher, from scholarships, and typically it's a little warmer than it is in here today. I think almost traditionally, it'll be 60 the day before and 90 that day, just so the cement can heat up in time for us to sit and sweat, and everybody's here. But it's a great opportunity, again, for them to wear their cap and gown. We are limited to what they can wear at graduation. We do have to limit it. Otherwise, kids could be wearing a triage of stuff. And so they can only wear certain things. This evening, if they're in the military, if they're in robotics, if they're in CTE, they get to wear all that hardware for that night. Because at commencements, they only get to wear certain hardware. Or cords, actually. And that's a piece we have to stick with, because otherwise you'll see commencements with kids with 20 cords and we have no idea what they are. They can buy them anywhere. So we really limit that. So that's a night where they can wear some of those special awards that they might get for FFA, that they might get for CTE, and it's an opportunity just for them to shine. Those are the great things that we put out at their commencements when you have their parties. But again, last day for seniors, you see the 4 days built in there. And then again, encourage your students to be here for that day, encourage them to be part of it, and encourage them to be part of the senior planning team. I'm excited for June 2nd. It's going to be an outdoor graduation again, and it'll be great, and it really is a beautiful event. So pretty excited to host that. Senior pictures, for anybody that you might talk to that might have a struggle with senior pictures, graduation's not only a struggle, for some it's a financial hardship. So when it comes to cap and gowns, when it comes to senior pictures, I have 3 people that do senior pictures for students that can't afford it. And I don't want a kid to miss out on that. So you reach out to me personally, talk to the counselor, and I'll make sure we'll connect. I'll get you my number, and we'll make sure that happens for that student in a timely fashion. But watch the deadlines, because that day is set in stone. I can't change it to another day, because they've got to be set up, the names have got to be correct, everything's got to be checked, and it's got to be submitted in that arena. So we got to make sure we do that. But again, if you talk to somebody that's struggling, please put them through to me so I can at least help before the November 1st deadline. Lee, I'm stuck again. Nope, there we go. And again, as always, I know it's a highlight of everybody's Sunday at 11 o'clock when that baby comes through. I try to keep it fresh. I try to keep it new. My creativity just sparks every week and trying to create something different. I try to make it quick to read. But again, I try not to repeat stuff, because you can always go back. I might repeat one thing, but the captions for some of the stuff we have to put in there are in there. But all the information I try to keep fresh. So you can look at it on your phone, you can take a look at it, you can take a peek, text me, email me, do what you need to get information. But that's our connection. Dave really wants to push parent involvement. That's one of our number one pieces this year. Our teachers are going to be calling home, not just during one period or one day. We want them to call home regularly, connect with them, not only for negative things, but how about positive things? This is another one of those connections. It's our way of trying to keep that information to you. I have to say, I look through them all, and I really like mine the best. Mrs. Piper helps me a lot with the creativity, but I'm really getting better. So if you can, make sure you're looking at that every week. It really, really is important. I have some quick links in here for you guys. These are all live. They'll get you to where you need to be, and there's more. We just want to make sure that you have that opportunity to get your sons and daughter where they need to be and what needs to happen so that they can walk across that stage. You guys can be less stressed, can be excited. It's a tearful and joyous moment at the same time. I mean, seriously, these kids, it's probably it is the best day. That and just really seeing them celebrate and joining in with them in that time to see that culmination. I'd love to go to every graduation party if I could, but it's never ending. And there's one every weekend for the whole summer. So next up is our wonderful Allison. Allison joins us from AACU, who's a great partner with Alpena Public Schools. They help with the Wildcat Den. And Allison is here working with kids on financial literacy and working with students with money needs. So you'll hear about her stuff. I'll advance this thing. This thing's not working.
Like Rome said, my name is Allison Jacobson, and I am a marketing specialist for Alpena Alcona Area Credit Union, and I supervise the Wildcat branch that is in the Wildcat Den or former library here at the high school. We put this in 3 years ago, and we actually hire students to work for us. These are my students this year, Caleb Potter and Liam Kalashewski. My last two students graduated last year, so we had to get new ones. But so like we said, I am here to be a financial education resource to students, but also we want to celebrate the seniors, and we have some really cool opportunities coming up this year for those seniors. If you want to slip to the next slide. So something really cool that we kicked off last year for the very first year is we offer a scholarship to students throughout Northeast Michigan. We are promising to give away 10 $1,000 scholarships to students throughout the communities we serve. Last year, we said we were giving away 10. We actually gave away 23 scholarships. And 6 of those came from Alpena High School students, which are pictured here. It's a very simple scholarship application, and we're excited to do that again this year. We're hoping to give away more than 23. So I encourage your students to apply for that. That'll be coming out in the spring from us. We'll be pushing it out, and we'll be working with the school here as well to make sure that's included in the scholarship links, but it's going to be done through our website and our scholarship committee. Another exciting thing that we've done this for about 3 years now, we just want to congratulate the class of 2024 with a $50 graduation reward. The only requirement is they have to be our member. Free $50 for them. If they're not our member, we have another opportunity for them to become our member with a reward too, which is on the next slide. But this $50 graduation reward is going to be kicked off in January and February this year. We typically waited until the end of the year to offer this, but we figured students were very busy with graduation and prom and all these things that it kind of got missed, and we don't want students to miss this free $50. So we offer a $100 new member reward. So if your senior is not part of a financial institution yet, it's a really good idea to get them an account before they head off into their next stage in life. We're finding that a lot of people aren't familiar with their finances, and that's why I'm here. I'm getting into a lot of classrooms next week to talk to students about finances, and I will be doing that throughout the whole school year. But this is another opportunity as they can come see me. I'll help them fill out their membership application, help them get everything going, be a resource for them throughout the entire school year. Anytime that they have questions, anything like that, and they'll get $100 just for becoming our member. So that's another resource we have. I think that's all my slides. I was quick. I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but I encourage you to send your students to see me. We're open during lunch hours every single day. Any type of financial question, they don't have to be an AASU member. I will help them if they're Wolverine, HPC, Alpena community, wherever you belong to. If they have questions, I'm here to offer my assistance to them. And also a quick side thing I forgot, for the scholarship, you don't have to be an AASU member to be eligible for that scholarship. That's just something we're offering to our community members and to the senior class of 2024. Thank you.
She's at every event. She's at every Kaput event. She brings popcorn. She has things for kids. She has giveaways. And she does give, just handing envelopes out with money to kids at those events. Literally, it really is just a great partnership. But one of my goals with AACU is to really get them in the building more. Like she says, she's getting into classrooms. We built a mini classroom in the Wildcat Den for that reason. So when classes want to come down, especially with our 8th graders coming in, they have to have a financial proficiency piece built into their graduation requirement. And I see this being a real asset to our economics classes, our marketing classes, our history classes when we start talking banking systems, and just see the connection to the real world. So my goal would be to get her half-time this year, full-time next year. And so that's what I'm shooting for. Plus, the bank's open. I mean, I make my payments there. I make sure the kids, I'm coming in processing stuff, and they make me, you know, they have to handle everything, and they do a really good job. So again, 270 days left, guys. Do not miss a moment of it. Enjoy every moment. Those frustrating days when they're not getting ready for school on time, when they're not getting to where they need to be, they're not listening, it is going to be over before you know it. I see some of the faces here, and I remember your kids as children, and I remember some of you in my class. And that is just, it's a real joy to know that I've seen some of your kids go all the way through, and that is just a powerful, powerful thing. So with that said, I'll answer any questions. The counselors will be up here, as well as Allison, to answer anything. So are there any questions? There's never a bad one. And then we're off to volleyball to cheer them on. Nothing? Okay, guys, this will be up there, all the things. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you for being here. And go Class 24. Pick up all your Kaput events. They're on the left-hand side as you go out. Don't be afraid to sign up, register. Jason will be making cookies. Anybody else? Help yourselves.